people as value, people have something to do, I don't think they would require free education. Because if I were to ask you a question, which one of any of the politicians whose children are in this free education, you find none of them. In Kaunda's time, when Kaunda implemented free education, children of ministers from government used to be in the same free education with other politicians. You can ask or check around. Just look at your history. You find that Kaunda's ministers' children used to be in free education with most common people. So then free education meant a lot, including Mr. H.M. ran for free from grade 1 to university. He paid nothing. And you should know that student loan started later on in life, and only people from 2004 going upward are required to pay back. Otherwise, Mr. H.M. and most of the people, the Rungus and those others, they never paid anything back to the university. They went for free. Yeah, because education was for free from grade 1 to university then. Yeah, so I must say the fear, but you can my paper. Yeah. So invite a friend, tell a friend that we are live. Some of them, they are even gathering. But once you vote for them, no, you never see them again. In fact, if you attempt to see them, their cutters will block you, or police will come to you. If you protest or you say anything, you'll be arrested. Look at what Sai Baro has done. The people, for example, those women who are arrested in the Eastern Province, for only complaining that they are getting fertilizer in medals and seeds, police went and they arrested them and charged them with seditious. What a joke. Okay, is this what you voted for? I think you vote for a government which promises to remove Sai Baro, because Zambians by nature, we love talking. For the fact that we are almost 73 tribes in Zambia, we love peace, we love freedom of speech, and we love talking. If somebody comes up with a Sai Baro to silence us, I think we don't like such. So in this election, the determinant of the winner should be cost of living and cyberspace, freedom to speak. All right, this is our country, and we need a country which our future, our children will be very happy with. Not a country where the parents are failing to talk because the government is camping them using cyber and all these nonsensical laws. Okay, look at the circus of what Bill 7 has brought. Bill 7 brought a lot of circus. Look at how much people are drawing because they have been paid, and the ruling party wants to go and oppose almost in every constituency. This is because of the tempering of the law using Bill 7, which was never supposed to happen. So first of all, Bill 7 was illegal, and the HH made sure that it passed so that they can be buying independent and opposition MPs like this. That was the point. Imagine if each time somebody was voted or withdrew, we could go for fresh nomination. It would have been very costly to ruling and the opposition. So that law was there in order to prevent this buying of candidates. But because Mr. HM, I knew his wisdom, he removed it so that he can easily be buying individuals who support the opposition or independent candidates. He made sure that even if the Constitutional Court said that Bill 7 was illegal, he made sure it passed so that he can be buying candidates like we have seen. Candidates have been offered almost up to 20 million kwacha to resign. For example, I think that's Kaputa, Member of Parliament. That's what the boss BMM said on FM, that he was offered money, and when he refused, they threatened him and he had to run away from his constituency. However, whenever you PND, you are gone. Mulea, they're just counting days. So eat while you can. Otherwise, this opportunity might never come again. I hope people of Zambia, and especially those from the Zambezi region, have learned how to vote, because this time people of Zambia stood up and voted for you in 2021. I hope you also do the same, because for almost 25 years, almost a generation, the people of Southern and some parts of Central and Western Africa, they have been voting for one candidate, for one political party. No other political party has managed to win any seat in Southern Province and Western Province apart from the UPND. So hopefully at the end of UPND will make sure that things changes in those areas. Yeah. So UPND we're going to so I think you have done enough. Zambia has given you enough time. You could have achieved whatever you wanted. Yeah, thank you very much. Let me know where you're watching from. I see some special people here watching also. I'm grateful. Thank you very much. We had to restart the podcast because the first one, my phone's temperature went up and it had to switch off the internet, imagine. So I think I need a good phone. But are we going to be buying phones every year? Each time there's a new phone we buy. But anyway, so we move on. Okay, so let's start talking by 40. By 40 we start talking. If you don't know what we are discussing this evening, we'll be talking about election updates, what's been happening, and some of you know that something went down in Kalingalinga yesterday. Unfortunately, a child was shot with a tear gas and the child got hit, but the child is fine now. I think BMMet and his leaders went there to check out the child today, and also they passed through guys got funeral. Yeah. So right now, as I'm talking, I think the rally is still going on. No, it has ended there. They are in Muchinga, Matero. And it's packed over there. Alright. Osama Mwelwa, thank you very much from Undola. Maximo Mwaum, Okay. Where are you watching me from? Thank you very much for joining, and let's make this Zambian. Welcome to JMK Podcast once more. The Thinking Zambian. So if you're a Thinking Zambian, this is the right place for you. Let's come here, let's gather, and let's talk, ask questions. What would you like us to talk about next time? We'll be live. So today's evening, this evening's topics will be discussing election updates, of course. We'll be discussing cost of living from 2011 to 2026. We'll also be looking at the stock market. We'll also be looking at life as number line. Did you know that actually mathematics applies in real life? So if you didn't know, this is the opportunity to actually learn. Yes. Okay, so just give me a few minutes and we'll start. Yeah. Yeah. So now what's happening right now is animal farm, because in UPND, look at Tufatayari. Tufatayari is back and nobody's arresting him. Why? Because it's now pressing HH. If you are pressing HH, no matter how much crime you can commit, nobody is going to arrest you. So Mr. Tayari, after insulting HH, he ran away, and then now he started pressing HH. He's back and nobody is arresting him. And then the UPND lawyer said, Tayari has no case. What a crazy time, right? It's crazy. It's very much crazy because, I mean, how would Tayari not have a case to answer? It's crazy, but anyway, these are some of the things which UPND is doing wrong, and they have not learned from the reason why PF was voted out by the people of Zambia. I hope this one will make them learn. Michael, UPND should start preparing to go exact. I agree with you, my brother. Watching from Lusaka Garden, Chududu. Thank you, Mr. Gift Sileshe and Mr. Michael. That's an interesting name. Make sure that you share this podcast as we start talking elections. We are going to expose some of the lies UPND is telling people, and some of the lies UPND is telling people about Brian Mundubile. Brian Mundubile has never been a president. You can't blame him for not developing his constituents. That's number one, because that is borders on the central government. Okay, if the government failed to develop a certain area in Zambia, the failure is not entirely to the MP, because the MP's job is to actually implement policies, and policies which helps develop a constituency, not entirely MP. So the job of an MP is not to develop any area. The job of an MP is to facilitate or put in policies which will help develop a certain area. So Brian Mundubile cannot be blamed or be called a thief. If he was a thief, you would have jailed him by now. You would have arrested him by now. But for the fact that you haven't, forget. Chipembele, whatever the discussion, I just know that HH will get 5 million. 5 million votes from where? People are hungry. Food is expensive, and food will continue to be expensive. People have been shaded for 5 years now. Business have closed. What kind of 5 million are you talking about? Are the dead people going to vote? If it's so, yeah, maybe I agree. We're salt, not this time. I think that not kind of salt. We need sugar. We are tired. People cannot live with salt. Patrick Kateka, thank you very much. Where you watch me from? So guys, people are tired of the UPND, and UPND must go. Cyber law, Bill 7, they should be packed together and thrown together into hell by Zambians this coming August. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Augustine Jele, where you watching me from? Thank you very much, brother. So yeah, I'm drinking some drinks. Okay. So we start our program. There's a reason why we came here, and that reason is this. Yeah. Mr. H.M. promised that to be buying fuel at 10 kwacha or 15. He promised dollar by 14 hours. He promised meal by 50 kwacha. Where are these things up to now? They are not there because Mr. H.M. has been lying and he has continued to lie. Now he promises to build 10 universities in each province, like one university in each province, together 10 of them. Look at the University of Zambia. Today, it even failed to open up. People had to protest for them to go and repair those ablution blocks. Look at how dilapidated the government universities are around the country. They have failed to maintain them. How do they build the new universities? It's clear that they are lying. Now, if you look at the budget, okay, PF in 10 years' time from 2011 up to 2021, the total amount of money they spent on budget is only around 600 billion, not 600, yeah, 600 billion kwacha. Okay, that's how much they spent. The PF spent in 10 years' time, they spent 600 billion kwacha. The UPND have spent 1.2 billion kwacha in 4 years. What do you think will happen? Why are they taking the money? The FIC report itself has been reporting that in UPND government, somebody is stealing about $2.5 billion every year. It's going to Panama, it's going to Switzerland, it's going somewhere by a private individual. The government pretends not to know, but we know that Mr. Ichilema knows who is stealing these monies. In 4 years' time, UPND has lost $10 billion through illicit finance. If you think that I'm lying, you should check the FIC report from 2021 up to today. It will show you that government has been losing up to $2.5 billion every year. Who is stealing the money? The public does not know, but the president knows because the FIC report has got those names, but the president do not say. Yeah, obviously, they share. That's the reason we can't say it. Up to today, UPND has never told us what happened to the gold scandal at the airport, what happened to Switzerland. They have not told us who bent the markets in Zambia up to now. They have not told us who did the ritual killing in Zambia, because if they were serious on the way they hated the PF, today would have known the people who gassed the Zambians, who did the ritual killing in Zambia, who bent the market in Zambia, or people would have known, but they have not told us. Who knows? It was them behind so that they can get sympathy from the people. Okay, that's the conclusion I would actually make. Anyway, let's go to the topics why we are here today. You can see Brandmundi is popular from nowhere. Mr. Ichilema thought that by banning or not allowing opposition from assembling or mobilizing, it would stop them. But the people of Zambia are actually the opposition of Mr. Ichilema. Okay? So today's topics, as I said, we're looking at the election updates, the cost of living from 2011 to 2026. And then I'll be looking at life as a number line. I also touch a little bit of stock market Zambia. My name is JMK or John Mo Kalama. Welcome to the Thinking Zambian podcast. Here we discuss all things youths and what's happening around our country. Yeah. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any question, you can post them in the comment section. I'll be glad to lead and respond to you. Okay. So we make it quiet. So the topics, okay. So what has been happening for the past 1 week? Okay. So Mr. Ichilema has continued to campaigning in the Northern Province, and he went to Chilubi Island. Some of you saw it. In Chilubi Island there, Mr. Ichilema told the people that the reason why Chilubi Island is not developed is because of their MP. The MP refused to vote for Bill 7, and that's the reason why I did not give you an extra constituency. Contrary to Mr. Ichilema, you do not need an MP to vote for Bill 7. Just because he refused doesn't mean you cannot develop this course. If Mr. Ichilema was serious, the government institution in these provinces are for the government. They work under him, the council and everything, all the administration are the government. The central government is in every province of Zambia. So you cannot say that a certain constituencies is not developed because of their MP. That's not true. If the government indeed wanted to develop an area, well, how come is Livingston? Livingston is developed. Choma is developed. There are many places which are developed in Zambia where no president who was in power had any member of parliament there, but they are developed today. For example, in Livingston Central, there have never been a PFMP there, but it is developed. It's looking nice. Okay, so we do not need an MP to be for the ruling party for the area to develop. Development is a purpose, and it's supposed to come from the central government, not the CDF Yanja Layabos. I mean, CDF is just going to pockets. And today, nobody, I challenge any press singer here who knows one constituency, okay, which received the full CDF for the past 4 years. Then nobody will say it because it never happened. That CDF was the maximum CDF people have received in Zambia in this constituency is maybe 10 million maximum. Maybe that's, I don't know if it's actually, if that's even too much. I'm exaggerating. It should be about 1.5 to 6 million kwacha. Okay, for the last 4 years. Others have not even received the CDF here 3 years ago. After today, we know such constituencies. And what do you expect to actually get from there? Okay, Mr. Ichilema wanted to actually did what is called the populist policies to say CDF you should develop your constituency. It's not a job of CDFs to develop the country. It's a job of the central government, because central government has got the resources to hire proper engineers, proper contractors, instead of those youths you are adding to make desks and those classes, which when wind comes they are blown up. Come on, we can do better. Okay, so Mr. Ichilema must desist from insulting and saying bad things about the people who does not support him. It's normal in politics not to be supported. You can not everyone can support you, but that means it's not develop where they're coming from, because people live there are Zambia and some of them voted for Mr. Ichilema. Okay, so Mr. Ichilema, the issues of Chilubi, I think people here were laughing at you because you can't be against their chiefs and be against their MPs. You know, people are laughing at you. They're just waiting for August to come and they'll vote you out. So Mr. Ichilema now, during his campaigns, he said the two volunteers, nurses who are there at the rally, because they attended Mr. Ichilema's rally, they were now going to be given jobs. But is that how it's going to be? If you attend the presidential rally, then you're going to receive a job? Oh, come on, guys. We can do better. The UPND, you can do better. Okay? Let us recruit people in a transparent manner, not because they are doing something for UPND. And let us stop misusing or using the civil servants to do the bidding of the political party. Because one day you go, even you civil servants who are actually following this illegal instruction from UPND and their officials, you know that one day when the government changes, you're going to lose your job. Why can't you reform? Okay? Why can't you reform? You should reform and be a non-partisan. The constitution guides you people how to behave in those civil services. Okay? So Mr. Ichilema has continued calling BM8 and the Makebi Zulu that they are thieves, they want to come back to steal more, and all these things. First of all, it is not true that Makebi Zulu is a thief. It is also not true that Brian Mundubile is a thief. These two are not thieves. These two were merely MPs and provincial MPs, provincial ministers. They have nothing to do with the development of Zambia. They were just there to facilitate and support policies which should develop every constituency. So you cannot blame them that they failed. They never failed anywhere. We have never tried them as Zambians. We need to try Mr. Brian Mundubile, let him be a president. And then we can see whether you perform or not. If he does not perform, just like you go on the 13th of August, you also go in 2036 if he does not perform. But for now, I think Zambians are tired of the UPND and they want HH to go as quick as possible. The man is ruling Zambia as if he's ruling cows at his farm. Cows don't talk, you know, you just direct them, go and eat now, go and drink now. That's what he's doing to Zambians. There is no, okay. So, Mr. Ichilema must stop ruling Zambia like it is his farm. Zambians are not his cattle. He has no right to tell them what to do. Just 1 minute, don't buy a Benz. Hey, go and farm. Go and farm, you are making people sharing medals. And you're even boasting, no, we produce 5 million metric tons. Tell us the truth. Who produced the 5 million metric tons? Is it the same people who are sharing fertilizers in medals and seeds? The answer is no. We know it's some commercial farmers who have got invested interest in the UPND, whom you gave those projects, and the one who produced such metric tons of maize. It's not the poor Zambians who wants the 5 bags you promised to them of fertilizer and seed. Okay, so honestness is what is required. Mr. Ichilema, whenever he says something, do not believe him. Okay, if he says it's actually morning, go outside and check if it's actually morning, because the chances that you'll be telling the lies is 90%. So Mr. Ichilema does not tell the truth, and nobody in Zambia, nobody who is not brainwashed must follow what Mr. Ichilema is saying, because he does not tell the truth, and we don't want politics of lies in Zambia. Okay, Zambia is a Christian nation, and for us to maintain that status, our politicians need to be held accountable, and they should be able to speak the truth. One mistake Mr. Ichilema made when he came to power after 6 months or 1 year later, he should have come back to Zambia and apologized. That's what Chiluba did. Okay? Wise president to come back to tell the people, guys, what I thought was possible in opposition is not now possible when I'm ruling. So I'm sorry, things will take time, but this is what we're doing about it. Mr. Ichilema has been too pompous. He cannot apologize to anybody. Okay? So, lies the UPND are telling the people about BMM8 and the Makebi Zulu. Okay? Okay? So, ATH continues, like I said. Okay? So, some of these cases will actually be, I see the comments down here. Thank you very much for those commenting. Please let me know where you're watching from and if you understand what I'm trying to talk about. Okay? So, UPND South Korea ambassador came back and he went live and said, me, I've come back to campaign for President Ichilema because when he goes, I'll also be fired by BMM8. Now, ambassador is a civil servant, just like Mr. Tao Kawana. Okay? So, if you're a civil servant, what does the law say? Yeah? What does the law say? Who get their son? So UPND is telling people lies about BMM8. For example, that when Brian Mundubile comes to power, is going to fire a civil servant employed by HH. The answer is not true. Mr. Ichilema is lying. When Brian Mundubile said when he comes to power, those civil servants who are actually in politics actively, or those who are actually doing politics openly, he said he should repent, reform, or be prepared to retire. Which is very true, because the civil servant, according to the Constitution, for some of you don't know, there is an Article 173. This one sets values and professionalism and integrity in civil service. And then Article 186 requests that civil service be neutral. Okay? So there's what is called Public Service Code, which makes sure that it also entails that civil servants must not be allowed to actually involve themselves in active politics. They should be neutral at all costs, because their job is to serve the people, not politicians. Politicians will come and go, but their job will remain. So this Article 186 of the Constitution of Zambia guides civil servants on how to behave. So Mr. Kawana is doing a long job, and this ambassador from South Korea is also doing a long job. It's not their job to come and defend Mr. Ichilema. What should defend Mr. Ichilema is the job he has done in the last 4 years, not talking. Talking is not going to influence anybody. Just like you have heard all the musicians in Zambia, and people are coming to watch the musician, not to follow Mr. Ichilema. You see, there are very few people who are to count. Maybe out of 10, only 5% are coming to, only 50% is coming to watch Mr. Ichilema. The rest are coming to watch your maps for free. You know, who doesn't want to watch your maps for free? Even me, if I was in Zambia, I'd be coming to your shows, to your rallies, to watch your maps for free, because like, it's expensive. Alright? So Article 173 sets values, professionalism, and integrity in public services. This guides how a civil servant must behave. So the behavior of Mr. Tao Kawana, PSC secretary, or PSC Yeah, permanent secretary for information is wrong. He's not supposed to be in active politics. And also, Article 186 of the Constitution of Zambia requires that it provides public service code, okay, which actually instructs or tells citizens how to behave when it comes to partisan politics. It says they should put partisan politics below the people's interest. As simple as that. Okay? Yeah. So, that's it. So, another lie UPN is telling the people of Zambia that when BMM8 is going to end free education, that one is also a lie. BMM8 does not intend to come and end free education. It has been, BMM8 is one of the people, BM8 is one of the people who have been very honest. I think it's one of the honest politicians I've ever known in my lifetime. Okay? You can tell he's a very sincere person, he's an honest person, and he will not just lie. The man. The people who know him can actually testify that he's an honest man and he deals correctly. Okay? He says when it comes to free education, what students, pupils need is a type of free education which is quality. Free education with enough desks, free education with free books, free education with uniforms. Because I was telling you, right now it's not really free education. People are suffering economically. People are suffering because of the high cost of living. And you're telling them free education. Free education without food is really does not make any sense. No child will go to school without eating and they'll focus or concentrate. And then they go to class, they find they're 150, 200 in a class. I think there's no concentration. But BMM8 is offering that it's going to recruit more teachers, it's going to build more schools, it's going to give books and pencils and all these things and uniforms like it was in Counter's time. Yeah, that's what BMM8 is actually proposing to you guys. Another lie UPN is telling the people about BMM8 is that when BMM8 come to power, never Pompwe, where haven't you arrested him if it's a Pompwe? It's not a Pompwe. All the people of Zambia want the same Pompwes. Because some Pompwes have actually shown that they can do better job than you. Alright? So the UPN is actually telling people that, oh, when Brian Mundubile comes to power, it's coming to eat the reserves. What a joke. First of all, that money is controlled and monitored by the IMF. It's not the money you can easily go and get. Even when you want to get it, you need to go to Bank of Zambia and borrow. It's not that the government can simply just go walk in and get it. No. They need to go to the Bank of Zambia, borrow the money, while giving it quarters and just like that. So it's not a simple and straightforward thing. Okay, so reserves are controlled and monitored by BOZ with the observation of International Monetary Fund. So it's not something that you can easily get. That money is used to deal with calamities. So Mr. HH has built a reserve of $6.4 billion in the last 4 years, but in these last 4 years, we had calamities. Did he help? Farmers used to sleep on the bank. Some of them were locked, some of them died. And farmers, up to now, some of them have not been paid. Only stories we've been hearing up to now are still stories, but the Marina Reserve. Anyway, I won't say much. But BM8 is not going to let farmers suffer. He's not going to make them queue for their money for a long time. Just like he had said that Mr. Ishiro must allow the FLA to announce the floor price because there is no relationship between moisture content and floor price. Floor price, which some of you don't know, it's a starting point or a starting price for which farmers can sell maize to government, and this price actually guides the farmers to sell maize at a good price because it comes from the government, it's a standard, and farmers follows that to help them not to be exploited by briefcase buyers, if you know them. Briefcase buyers, those are private people come to buy maize from farmers. Yeah, so yes, that's it. And then yesterday, what happened? First, BM8 and is scheduled to have rallies in Lusaka starting from yesterday, and we saw a lot of things happen. First, the leaders from NRPUP met the European Union and they talked about observation of elections and the way they wanted that there should be international monitoring and ensure that there's free and fair elections. So this is the job of the European Union, which they're doing in Zambia, and they met with the BM8 group, and then they had some discussion. And then in the evening, okay, around 14 to 15 hours, somewhere there, in the afternoon, I would say, BM8 decided to pass through Karingaringa and hail LUSE. from all of a sudden the police came. They wanted to stop him. He decided to continue because it was their schedule. Their schedule said they should campaign in Lusaka right now. So there was no need. It was actually illegal for police to go there and start firing tear gases. We should stop that. Remember that the reason why PF was voted out, one of them was catalysm, also mistreatment, okay, of opponent. Mr. Isham himself was mistreated. Okay, some of it was because of his behavior. Some of it was because those in power then, they were too pompous. Okay, they never wanted anybody to challenge them like Mr. Ichlem is doing now. But it looks like Mr. Ichlem has not learned anything from what happened to PF. And this is the fate of UPND if they're not careful. Alright? Yeah, so the police yesterday fired some tear gases here and there, and they ended up injuring a young child who was taken to the hospital, and thank God that the BM8 group of leaders went to see the child, and the judge is doing very well. Okay. Remember that the president of Botswana said that if any president is campaigning every in their second term, which means they have not worked, and this is what's happening to Mr. Ichlema. He's campaigning so heavily because he has not worked. Yeah, that's the reason. Because if he had worked, I don't think he would have been campaigning so heavily, you know. Yeah. Let me know where you're watching from. Okay, so the ACZ have confirmed that the ballots are almost ready. They're almost finishing up. They'll be bringing them to Zambia soon. So, okay, so FLA, the scandal about FLA. So, for some of you who don't know, FLA has been owed money by ZNS. Remember when minimum became so expensive? So, ZNS went to FLA and got some maize, and they made minimum, and they started selling them at a little bit cheaper price than which was prevailing. But it was too expensive than what was promised or what they found in 2021. Yeah, so FLA gave maize to ZLA, and ZLA, not ZLA, sorry. So FLA gave maize to ZNS, and they made those minimum, and they sold them at a cheaper price. But according to rumors and some information, the ZNS have not paid money to FLA. So because of that, there's issues of finance at FLA department, and they have failed to announce the floor price of maize because of moisture content. But you know, that's just an excuse. The real truth is that FLA is broke. They don't have money. Because clearly, you know that the moisture content has nothing to do with the floor price of maize, announcing the price. Because you can announce the price and tell the farmers that, okay, we've just announced the price, but we are not going to start buying maize right now. It will take some time, okay? But for the UPND, they are lying to people that because of the moisture content is high. Now we've seen that the president and the boss of FLA, they are having more like a debate. They are arguing in public. The president says that we instructed FLA to buy maize. The other one says we can't buy now because there is the moisture content. So, you know, it's a debate here and there, but it just shows you that actually the government is going. When the government is going, a lot of things starts going wrong, like it's happening in UPND right now. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, there's no relationship between moisture content and announcing the price of maize. So FLA is broke. They should say that. We know they are broke. They should just say it, right? Okay, and then you remember that also yesterday, Mr. Guy Scott passed away. For some of you who don't know Mr. Guy Scott, he was born in 1944 in Zambia, Livingstone specifically, and he died at 82 years old. He became an MP, and in 1991, he became an MP and the Minister of Agriculture in the Chiluba's government. Then later on, when Mr. Sata was frustrated in MMD time, that was around 2001-2002, Mr. Gaikot moved with Michael Sata and they created their own PF, which won in 2011, and subsequently, Guy Scott was given a position of the Vice President of the PF in 2011. The rest is history. Yeah. So RIP to Mr. Guy Scott, and may he rest in peace. Yeah. Okay, so enough about that. Let's talk about the cost of living from 2011 to 2022, and also we'll look at 2022 to 2026. How are things standing? Is UPND performing? Which is no, we know, but again, to show that the UPND is actually lying to people is because inflation and the cost of living, they should be moving in the same direction. Oh, cost of living should be constant while inflation is decreasing. That is very much possible. But the cost of living is increasing and the inflation is decreasing. That is impossible. For all economists around the world, I challenge you to come here and show me if it's possible that the cost of living is increasing, the inflation is decreasing. That's impossible. It's either the cost of living is at constant and inflation is decreasing, or both of them are going upward. The cost of living and inflation are both going upward. Yes, that one I would agree. But not that our inflation is going down, but the cost of living is going up. That does not happen in a real sense, or even in economics, it doesn't happen. The truth is, the inflation figure, somebody's lying about it. It's not been too faithful. The inflation figure can't be 6 when the cost of living is now at 12. And we know that a few months ago, the inflation, the cost of living was lower than it is today. It was around 11. Today it's 12, it's 12.3, 12.4, 12,300 to 12,500. That is too much. So these two cannot behave this way at any point in life. What is it that we are doing wrong? There is a lot of deceit, and I don't trust the Central Statistics Office now, because the people work there, maybe they are UPND and they want to do anything to impress Mr. Ichlem and make him look like he's doing a lot of job, but when he's not. Yeah. So some of these things, the simple pressing does not understand. It requires you to go to school for you to know. So it's not something like you can just easily come and understand. Okay? Yeah. So so inflation is at 6 now, but the surprising factor is that the cost of living has been increasing. Let's just go through the numbers. Okay? So the cost of living is the amount of money a family needs to survive throughout a month. That's what the cost of living means. But in Zambia, according to the JCTR, or Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, they define the cost of living as the amount of money a family of 5 needs to survive in Zambia. Okay? So the cost of living is the amount of money a family needs to survive throughout a month by purchasing basic needs. Okay, some of these basic needs, you know them. There might be food, shelter. Now transport is also a basic need, and also healthcare. Yeah, and water, also electricity is now a basic need. So these are some of the things which are needed to be in that basket for you to qualify to be a basket of cost of living. Right? Yeah. So let's start from 2011 to 2014. The cost of living was just about 2,500 to 3,000. Okay. 2015 to 2016 it was 5,000. 2017 to 2019 it was 5,500 to 6,500. And then 2020 during COVID the cost of living was at 7,125. In 2021, when Mr. Ichlem and UPND took over power, the cost of living was around 8,571. In 2022, immediately, the cost of living went to 9,050. In 2024, the cost of living was at 10,700. In 2025, the cost of living went up to 11,328. In 2026 now, as of June, the cost of living is 12,300. Now, you see that after 2020 or 2021, the cost of living started accelerating more faster. It moved up speed, like more fast than it was before 2022. And one of the reasons is, of course, over the COVID, we had COVID-19 in 2020 and 2021 there. So a lot of things were down, our copper prices went down because the economy was not functioning. And this led to the default we had in Zambia. So blaming the default on the PF entirely is actually wrong. Yes, some of it is due to their carelessness, but the major reason why Zambia defaulted and went debt is because no economy was functioning then. Because of COVID, everything was closed up. Yeah, so that's what happened. In conclusion, the cost of living has continued to go high, and the government seems to have no solution to this. Hopefully, the BMMA, when it takes over power, and the thinking focus is going to do something about it. This needs to be fixed. We can't continue living this way. Yeah, so far so good. Let me know if you have questions, and where you're not clear, you need clarity, you can always write the question in the comment section, and I'll respond to it. Okay? Okay, let's finish up this. Now, my second last topic is life operates on a number line. So number line, most of you know it. You knew it from grade 8, I guess, going upward. Where you learn the number line consists of numbers from negative infinity to 0, and then from 0 to positive infinity. We call that as a number line of numbers. Okay? Yeah. So did you know that actually life operates on a number line? Okay? Let's just say when you are in grade 3, grade 2, and grade 4, you knew little about the negative in life, or negative in mathematics. Because in grade 3 and grade 2, when the teacher said 3 minus 4, it can't, it was impossible. And it was a fashion to say, oh, it can't. So the teacher could smile and say, okay, so what do we do? Oh, you borrow a 1 and put it there, and then you solve, and it ends there. All right, let's move on. So now, what's the point of this? But when we reach the grade 8 to get 10 somewhere there, when we say 5 minus 10, the answer was negative 5. It can't anymore. Because now you have grown, you have become an adult. So, just like mathematics was it can't when you're a baby, it's now can when you're an adult. Okay? So even the Bible says porridge is for babies and solid food is for an adult. It's the same way life operates, the same way mathematics operates on the number line. When you reach a certain stage, you become an adult. What was impossible when you're young is now possible. This is what it means. Now, when you come to society, there are 3 classes of people, or people are classified in 3 sections or stratas. Okay? There is the poor people, there is the middle class, and there is the upper class, which is the rich. On the number line, there is the people in the negatives. We would call them poor people. And then there are people at 0. Those you'd call them middle class. And there are people between 1 and 100. These are rich people. Now, those on the negative side, for example, those who are children, most likely, or people who are born from the family which had nothing. For example, when maybe they grew up on the orphanage and they had 0 from the start of life. They didn't have so much or help when they were growing up. Or maybe they just lived in the farms, or maybe in the village or something like that. These people, most are categorized as people who are starting on the 0. And those who work, teachers and some workers, belong to the middle class. They are at 0. Those people, when they have children, those children who are going to start at this school, they will find their father and their mother working. They are a teacher, they are a business person, or they sell something, they have a shop. These are people in the middle class. And they earn a significant living. When the children come, they'll find food, they'll find money to take them to school. But for those who are in the negative, they don't even have money to take their children to school. Most children survive through sponsorship and university sponsorship, like it's been done at the University of Zambia. Most people are being sponsored by the government. So most of those people are classified to come from the negative side of life, which is on the number line. Yes, and those who are at 0, which is neutral, those ones are middle class, and those are where to start from. And then the rich have got where to start from, of course. Yeah. So, and up until you reach grade 8, you didn't know that actually you can actually subtract a bigger number from a small number and you get a negative. So this is how life works. Life can actually subtract from you. So the purpose of life, or life itself, from the time we are born up to the time we die, immediately you reach a certain level, you understand how things work. Life starts subtracting. If it gives you sickness, it is subtracting from you. If it gives you all negativity, takes away people you love, and all these are all called subtraction. Okay? Yeah. So, what do we do when life subtracts from us? Okay? And in today's life, many adults live life like they're in grade 1. Practicing grade 2 mathematics, where they just think that one day, okay, their problem can be bigger. One day, they believe that their problem will not be bigger than their capacity. They think that there is a limit to how much suffering they can get, or one day life will stop subtracting, or one day problems will finish. The truth is that that might not be correct. For the fact that you are suffering doesn't mean that one day you stop suffering, especially if you're not doing anything sensible about it, especially if you're not taking care of yourself in terms of health, money, and relationships. If you don't do this correctly, if you're suffering today, there's a guarantee 100% that you suffer even more. That's the truth about life. For the fellow youths out there, this you might not hear it anywhere else. So it better you pay attention or listen. Share it to people you love. Okay? So one day, life will stop subtracting. That's what most people are naive think. Those who are still using grade 2 mathematics where it's can't. We need to borrow for you to make it balance. Okay? But the reality of life is it introduces them to negative numbers. So when you reach grade 10, it's like you reach your adulthood, maybe from your 15 years old going upward. That's your grade 10. And life is going to introduce you to negative numbers. Suddenly you lose friends. Suddenly you lose people you love. Suddenly you lose sponsorship. Suddenly you damage someone's daughter. Suddenly you get a disease. These are negatives which life subtracts from you. In one day, you can lose a job. You can lose your spouse. You can lose your family. You can lose money. You can lose everything, including your own cars. As you think that this is now enough, no. You can actually even lose the last hope you had. That's how life functions. So there's no guarantee that just because you have suffered, life will be okay. No, it won't be okay until you start doing something about it. Okay? It's possible that if you are poor today, tomorrow you get even more poorer. Remember, there's a parable of talents in the Bible where a master gave money to 3 people. And then the last person says, my master liked leaping wide, he didn't sow. So he decided to hide the command, and when the master came, he gave him command and said, you master, I know that that you like leaping where you didn't sow. So here is the command, I prayed it. Do you know what that master said? Okay? He called that servant as useless and said that even the little you have will be taken away. It is true. In life, if you are suffering, there's no guarantee that you'll live better tomorrow. There is a high chance you can even suffer more if you don't do some things correctly, especially you are youths. For example, mind what you are saying online, especially if you plan to work or you plan to have scholarship or some sort of help online. Do not miss out. Make sure that your page, your Facebook is clean, because today's world, if people want to hire you for a job, they are going to screen your account. They are going to screen your Facebook, your TikTok, your Instagram, and all these social medias. And they will see what you post. Immediately they see anything negative, that's how you lose your job. If you think I'm lying, all the best. Those young people are still in school, in grade 3, grade 7, grade 12, universities. Mind what you post. Mind what you say, because it says a lot about you, where you come from, and what your future should look like. But if you want to be an entrepreneur like many people, of course you can insert, but you still lose customers and numbers if they see what you do online. Okay? So mind what you say. So now, when all things goes bad, when life has been subtracting, what will save you from all these negativity of life? Number 1 is resilience. Resilience matters. Otherwise, life is always subtracting. But if you are resilient, you have created the structures, you have saved enough money, you have created a good relationship, you have taken care of your health. Trust me, no matter how much life will subtract from you, as long as these pillars are there, saved money, good health, good relationship with people, these are things which will make you stand. For example, there's a story which happened recently where the 2 girls wanted to sell their eggs. I wondered, how can a 14-year-old be thinking about selling eggs? What eggs are they selling exactly? Anyway, most of you know this is basic science, but for children to reach that level, it could be amount of poverty and amount of lacking which is out there in the society. And it might not be entirely their problem. It's a problem where they're coming from, the society, their parents, where they're growing up from, their guardians. How do we stop this from accessing or going to our kids? Number 1, every parent has got a responsibility of how their child will grow up. They have got a responsibility of how a child will treat strangers. They have got a responsibility to teach the children how to receive or say no to things. Don't just buy phones and give these phones to your children and expect them to do what is honorable for them, because the world is teaching more to your children than you're teaching them at home. So if you're a parent and you've got kids maybe below 20, there shouldn't be privacy in your home. If they have their phone, make sure when they come from school, whatever they wear, maybe on the weekend, if you're usually busy in the week, check their phones, check who they're talking to, check what they are searching. Because one day, your children will be gone, like those two girls who were found in Lusaka, got lost, they were looking for the way to go to South Korea. It's very much shameful and it's insane. It should not be happening, especially in a country like Zambia. So let's keep these things in our minds. Let's treat our children well. Remember that each child you are raising will be a husband or a wife to some man one day, and there will be a society. So what you do with those children and what you do for opportunities, what you do with your savings, especially savings of money, if you don't take it seriously, you will see that life will continue subtracting from you. What you do with a relationship you are building will really matter someday. So let's make sure that when life starts subtracting, you have these things around you, okay? Okay, so people take advantage of good relationships or helping families and members until they lose everything. So do not take advantage of people who are helping you. Do not take advantage of good relationship which is safeguarding you, especially the one which is working to improve yourself or your interest in the family or in your business. Treat these people very well and make sure that you do your business prudently, because you need them when the life subtracts more from you than you expect. Okay, so good relationship, things you need to survive when life subtracts more is good relationship with people, saved money, skills, and self-containment, health, and also some exercise. Okay, these things will always keep you above zero. But if you don't have them and you keep living your life in a bad way, which does not sustain you, just know that you'll be operating in the zeros. You'll be in that last poor class where they're in the zeros. They have to fight hard to go to zero and start going to one. It will take them almost forever. Okay? So an adulthood is actually realizing that life is not primary school. Okay? Becoming an adult is realizing that life is not primary school. Why some problems are not just possible or they can't. No. Adulthood is realizing that problems can and will always be. Especially if you're not prepared, it will always subtract and problems will come. You saw this one, another one comes. Before you look, another one comes. So you always go below zero. But wisdom and building enough character, savings, health, good relationship with people, and fear of God, this will keep you in terms of such troubles. I hope this was clear. This was how I understood the life of the number line. If it's not clear, you can always rewatch this video, and you can always write it to me either in my inbox, and we can talk about it again if it's not so clear. Okay, so I'm done with this topic. We'll be looking at stock market right now. It's my last topic and I'll be done. By 30, I'll be done. By 2030, I'll be done. Thank you very much for those who have stayed so far. Yeah. Let me know how the campaign is going in your area. Are you campaigning well? Is it peaceful? How many are eating peace? Because after peace, we need food and we need good economy for youths to survive. We need opportunities. Okay, stock market. Today, I'm going to focus on two stocks, which is the Clapton Reinsurance. It's a new company. It came in 2026 recently, and we also have .com Zambia. .com Zambia made a lot of noise because when it was first announced, it was selling at 12 kwacha per share, but within 1 week of it coming to the public, it went all the way up to 24. It doubled 50% within 1 month, and it has stayed there around 24 per share up to now. Okay, so the thing I'll be specifically looking at in this one is the PE ratio, okay, price to earning ratio for Clapton and .com Zambia. Okay, yeah, so PE ratio is simply price to earning ratio. That tells us how much investors are willing to pay for a 1 kwacha every company makes, or a 1 kwacha a company makes. Company's earnings, okay? So, PE ratio tells us how much investors are willing to pay for every 1 kwacha a company is making or is earning. So you pay for every kwacha or profit the company is making. All right. So the formula is PE is equal to stock price over earning price per share. So what this means that the higher the PE ratio or price to earning ratio means that the market expects to grow in the future, and the lower means that the market expects to slow downward. So when the market, if the PE is high, it simply means it's either the market expects that stock to grow in the future or it is overvalued or overpriced. And if the PE is lower, it simply means the markets are saying this stock will be slow. Okay, and the market are not expected to grow so fast, and it's very likely that the stock is undervalued. For example, ACCE, which is an electric company on the Africa. It has been less for many years now. Okay, you can check it out. It's ACC something, yeah. It's also on the Lusaka Stock Exchange market. It works like CEC, yeah. So Clapton is about the PE ratio is 10.2, which is on average. I think it's very good. It simply means say that the market thinks the stock will grow or not. It's neutral. Like here, the market is not really suggesting whether the stock will grow or it's undervalued. It's just there. But .com Zambia is about 36.1. So you pay 36.1 kwacha per every kwacha that .com Zambia is making. Simply means this stock is very expensive, and the market thinks it will grow or it's overvalued. So that's what I had for you today. Thank you very much for sticking around, and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you. Goodbye.